Welcome back. It is 1529, last year of the decade. Super exciting. In the last one, we had Arthur age up into a teenager. We had Cesaria disfigure Beatrice. We had Gabriel get a horse. We had Thomas, meet a lady. We had Alistair get engaged to Juliana Gainsford. So, and then we also had the baby with the king be born, Alexander Larkin. So, lots of stuff going on. And I actually have the game open over here, but I want to go to Manage Worlds. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to a new family today. That's why. So this year, Henry VIII starts seeking his annulment. We start to have issues with the church. Everything is going to start building from here with all of that conflict. We have a couple birthdays in our main household. So we have Basil Larkin, no 2, 4, or 6. That's our Basil. Is he going to survive? He is. And then we have Olivia Larkin, no 7 or 13. Olivia, can you do it? You can. And is she going to get married? No 1 through 5. She is. And how many kids is she going to have? 8. Oh my goodness, Olivia. Okay, Olivia Larkin, 8. I'm actually just going to move this up one because I do like that they're in order of age right now. So, anyway. Juliana's going to get married this year, as is Alistair. But anyway, then Leticia Goth needs to get at least a 7 in order to keep surviving, and she did. No deaths. Anyone interesting aging up here? Part of me wonders if I should be doing roles for some of these Sims. We only have 2 of them this year. I guess we could. Maybe we should. I don't know. I kind of want to right now. Maybe I won't always do that, but that's okay. Casper lives, and then Beatrice. She was just attacked by the horse, so it'd be interesting if she ended up dying, like, from her injuries. She did not die. Okay, well, so no one's dying anyway. Doesn't really matter. So let me introduce you to a new family. This is a family from Sunny Hates You. This is the Crookshank household. Lucas, Azure, and Brigida are the 3 youngest children of the 4th wife of the world-famous Emmanuel Crookshank, who pulled himself out of the orphanage and managed to claw his way up the social ladder to lower nobility from one partner to the next. All of his wives perished early under mysterious circumstances until he himself passed of old age, much to the youngest 3 children's delight. Of his 15 children's delight. So, these guys are not inheriting anything. But here is Lucas, Brigida, and also Azure. Did I even spell their names right in my spreadsheet? Maybe. But anyway, this is the new family that we're introducing. So very exciting stuff. I did also change our household. I moved some Sims around so that all the Sims that we're currently trying to play with, like trying to get married and stuff, are in the household. So we have Arthur, Beatrice, Cesaria, Thomas, and then Olivia is aging up this year. So, and then of course I kept our heir in the household. But yes, lots of Sims doing lots of things right now. So I hope you guys are excited, and let's hop into the game. All right, so we are here in our house. We have, like I said, a few different Sims here right now because these are the Sims that we're currently using. I know Basil is aging up as well, but I don't have anything planned for him right now. We have a lot going on, so I'm okay with waiting on that. But it is his birthday, so we are going to host a birthday party for Basil. We're also going to get everybody in on their resolutions, so there's that as well. And I do need to have some of these kids drop out of school. But yeah, so I'm going to invite over the kids. We'll have a little birthday party. I'm so glad Basil ended up surviving. I really am. And you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that we really do need to split up the titles because I don't want us to have more than one title. I feel like it's unnecessary. Like, it's just superfluous, right? It's like not, it doesn't do anything for us. So what I'm thinking is that we have 3 sons, we have 3 titles. We can give each son a title, except for Arthur. But he was illegitimate, so I don't know if he would even be able to inherit anything in the first place. I still haven't read up on the laws about that. If you acknowledge an illegitimate child, if you're allowed to pass on things to them like that. But anyway, So I am gonna have to do some research for that though, but it's fine. So let's get Basil over here so we can age him up into a child and have him join the club. I'm also thinking, actually, no, okay, I'll talk about that later. I don't want to start rambling. I tend to do that. I go off on a tangent about things that I'm thinking about. But anyway, we are going to invite little Basil over, and he is going to blow out the candles on his birthday cake. We're having all the other kids hang out. Honestly, the kids club was mostly for Cesaria, so I'm not really super worried about it, like maintaining it now that she is a teenager. So there is that. And then look at everyone hanging out, being happy. Love that. So everyone's having a good time and hanging out, and Basil is now a child, so he's doing really well. And then we're going to go over to Alistair's house, actually, because we know we got him engaged in the last part. So he's engaged to Juliana Gainsford, and I do want to get them married. So since he's like sort of one of our children, he's our stepchild, we will have an actual wedding for him. So I am going to switch to his household, and then we will have the wedding event, and then everyone, goes to his wedding and stuff, because I feel like, with a lot of the side households, I'm totally fine with just having a quick, cheating for their marriage or whatever. But with this, I'm like, no, we should have an actual wedding for him. So we are going to do that. Honestly, I couldn't remember which wedding venue was in which save file for me, like whether or not the Bridgerton one or this one. And so I was trying to remember what you could do at this wedding venue. But anyway, let's have everyone come and sit. And can you believe that nobody stood in the aisle? It's kind of concerning, right? Look at Beatrice's face. Okay, so here they come up the aisle. They are very happy. Unfortunately, there's not going to be any children for them, but they are still very happy to be getting married. They don't know that they're not going to have children, so that's totally fine. They will, see each other, love each other, come upstairs and have a really good meal and enjoy that. So that's where we're at right now. Everybody's coming up here to have their post-wedding meal. Gabriel, for some reason, is just wearing his athletic wear, which is interesting. But anyway, so we're having that. And then also I want to bring the king over, because we know that this year is the year that things start to go wrong religiously for Henry VIII with this is the year that he decides that he wants an annulment for his first marriage to Catherine of Aragon, and he gets rejected because obviously he's definitely consummated the marriage, but his argument historically is that his brother and Catherine did consummate their marriage. And the reason that he thinks that is because apparently back then it was a superstition that if you, get with your brother's widow, that you won't be able to have a son. So because of that, he is insisting that obviously it means that Catherine had in fact consummated her marriage with his brother, and therefore could not have then married him, and that their marriage was like fraudulent in some way. So that is his reason for wanting an annulment, or at least his justification. It's not his reason, he wants a son, but his justification to like the Pope or whatever for the annulment. But he does get rejected, and that kind of sets off the issues between him and the church. And so that is kind of how we're starting the issues. They're going to build over the next decade. And then of course after, because we're going to be dealing with his other 5 wives. But yes, so there is definitely going to be a build up here. We're not going to, have anything else happen with that right now, just that this is happening and that everyone is talking about it, and that I'm sure Gabriel has talked to the king about it and everything, and they've definitely had those conversations where everybody's it's definitely top tier gossip that the king is going against the church right now. So that is definitely an issue. But anyway, we are going to just update everything with Alistair and Juliana. They are very cute together. I'm excited to have them together. She is, I think, a couple years older than him, actually. She has okay, well, first off, I was looking at my townie tracker, and it did the age was incorrect somehow. I don't even know how. I must have put the wrong numbers in there somewhere. So what I'm thinking is maybe she has 5 years until she becomes a regular adult. Anyway, and back in our main household, what we do have is Gabriel the second kind of, playing in the house, rummaging through things, and he ends up finding, why is that car so loud? um, he ends up finding one of not Tobias's, Lionel's Bibles. So he ends up finding one, and he kind of reads through it. He gets a little interested. He's definitely started to hear rumors from the adults and stuff about, oh, the church this, the church that. So I think he's becoming a little interested in what exactly is going on, and is maybe, if he found one of the Bibles and he's just kind of reading through it, trying to figure out what exactly the deal is. I mean, of course, they probably went to church every Sunday back then, and even though we haven't been doing that, but, they probably did do stuff like that. So it's not like he's unfamiliar with the church, but I think that he is, due to hearing some gossip and stuff, that he is definitely becoming more aware of it in a way that's not just like, going through the motions. So I do want to have our family start to be more involved in religion, especially as these religious issues are going to start coming up. So that is why we're starting to get Gabriel a little involved, just kind of a little inkling of, future attention. And basically, okay. I just forgot that I still had my game running in the background because it wasn't the next day yet. Oh my gosh. And I heard a noise and I was like, oh my gosh, I left the game running by itself for how long? Everything's okay. Anyway, so what we have here is we have, okay, Olivia aged up without her birthday party, which was supposed to be tomorrow, so I feel a little guilty about that, but let's get her a quick makeover. I'm so sorry, Olivia, but she is a slob and a goofball now, so I feel really guilty, but I love the red hair, just like your mom. All the girls ended up having red hair, all of Diana's daughters there. But anyway, so what we have is Albert coming over to visit our house. Obviously, him and Cesaria are engaged, so he would be coming around pretty often. And so they're just having a dinner together and all of that stuff. And then, we're just having that. And so we're doing the makeover for Olivia here, and I wanted to give her kind of an easier outfit, not easier, but a little more plain, I guess, because I feel like she, she's a slob, she's a goofball, she's not really too prim and proper, but she's just enough. So I do want to use other outfits. I feel like I'm using the same outfit for everything, so we are going to use some other outfits. So this is one of the outfits that we picked for her, and there she is. So meanwhile, back at home, we have everyone talking during the dinner party and hanging out. Cesaria is very happy, and they just kind of are having dinner, and then Beatrice is kind of making a few little digs at Cesaria, and Albert's kind of picking up on it, even though Cesaria isn't really, because she just is living in her own world. And so Beatrice is kind of, throwing a couple digs, and then she leaves her room, and Albert kind of follows. Everyone else is distracted because they're just mingling, but Albert kind of follows, and, people are in and out and whatever, but he does ask her, he's like, hey, you okay? What was that about? And so Beatrice ends up tattletaling on Cesaria. She ends up telling Albert, well, I just feel really bad after everything that happened with Beautrice and blah, blah, blah. And Albert's like, what do you mean? He's horrified when he hears that Cesaria was responsible for Beautrice's disfigurement. And so he comes back and he starts yelling at her. He's like, how could you do that? What kind of person does that? There's not enough money in the whole wide world that would make me marry someone who could do that to another person. And he's furious. And she starts to get furious and is like, how did you even know about that? She, slips up before she should even deny it, but she's like, who told you that? And blah, blah, blah. And she's really angry. And then they're fighting with each other, and he breaks up with her in front of her whole family. And she is mortified. She's so embarrassed. So she kind of runs to her room and goes to hide under the covers and everything. And Gabriel, meanwhile, even though he's kind of sad that Cesaria is not going to be able to, that she's not going to be able to get married to Albert, he's like, this is good actually, because then I don't have to pay as high a dowry and we can make up for some of the money that we lost. So he is really, stressed about money and everything. So he is really actually glad to kind of have that big dowry back in his pocket. So there is that. So what you gonna do about it? But then we are going to, again, even though we have this money now and we're trying to build back up the estate to what it was, and we don't have enough money for that. And so, and not only that, but like, we don't have enough money for a lot of things. Like, we never even gave Alistair anything. I mean, he's fine. I guess he's a baron in his own right, so he's fine. But like, we'll need to give money to Beatrice. We'll need to give money to Cesaria and Olivia, and probably the kids, the boys too. So we really don't have the kind of money to be throwing around. Anyway, so then we have Cesaria complaining to Beatrice because she doesn't know that Beatrice told Albert everything. And Beatrice honestly does not have honest intentions. Like, I think that Beatrice is kind of sick of Cesaria and sick of her attitude. And, Beatrice is thinking, like, why should she get a good man? Why should she get a good marriage, like, when she's like this? And so she definitely did not have good intentions while telling Albert. She wasn't, like, trying to help him or anything. She was just kind of like, she's sick of Cesaria and her attitude and her entitlement and all that stuff. And so, you know, she's not really feeling their friendship anymore. And honestly, she's like, why should she get a guy like that? I could get a guy like that. So she has definitely got some ulterior motives here. And poor Cesaria is just, thinks she's talking to her bestie about, everything that's happened. Meanwhile, that is the person that stabbed her in the back. Not that I should say poor Cesaria, because she is a terrible person. But anyway, now it is going to be Monday. So Monday, everything is always broken in this house. Monday, we're just going to do some jewelry making again through the night. But was supposed to be Olivia's birthday today, even though that did not happen. And then we are going to have her coming out ball then today. So we'll do that. And then honestly, I keep forgetting that like the reward store is a thing. So I'm like, wait, I should get the frugal trait so that we can maybe save a little more money. I know our bills aren't actually that high, so whatever. But anyway. Then Gabriel's going to come talk to Cesaria, and she is devastated that she lost the guy and the engagement and everything. And Gabriel's going to be like, it'll be fine. You'll find someone. Like, have a lot going for you. He's just kind of glad to get the money back. He's like, what, this is for the best. Like, he's just trying to butter her up about it because he really is glad that it happened. And then... Yep, so we are going to also have Olivia be learning the skill. What skill is it? The etiquette skill, because his aspiration is such that he has 2 kids that get to level 5 in etiquette. We'll see. Even I don't even know if he's going to live long enough to do this aspiration, to be completely honest with you, but that's okay. I am having the kids drop out of school. Yes, okay. We'll have the coming out ball. I don't know what's like wrong with my throat right now. I feel like I keep like needing to drink water, so I'm sorry if this is a little choppy. But anyway, so we are going to, yes, drop out of school, do etiquette, do this, do that, have the coming out ball. If you could, please do that next. Thank you. So we're going to do that, and Olivia is going to make her a debut. And unfortunately, there really aren't a lot of eligible bachelors around. Let me see what we have. We have like Lawrence Gainsford and Hughie Gamal for not our Sims. Obviously Albert Landgrab, but he's a little old for her at this point. I know that age differences aren't a big deal back then, but still. And then like Arthur is her half brother, and that's all the guys that are eligible for marriage right now. So yeah. There's not a lot of options, but honestly, I think that Olivia is kind of glad. She is not like, she's feeling a little stressed about this whole thing. Like, she's definitely not as interested in the parties and the balls and the finery as everyone else. And so I think that she is glad that like there's not like a bunch of guys that she has to schmooze with, and she feels comfortable like knowing, some of her relatives, some people who are, more safe to talk with without having to worry about anything. So she's glad about that. Meanwhile, we are also going to have Arthur, who I'm forcing home here, he's going to meet some ladies because he didn't actually have like a coming out ball. So he's going to meet some of the ladies. And for him, I think ladies include Susanna Dubois, Paulina Landgrab, Isolde Gamal. No, she's related to him. Sarah Goth. But yeah, so there's a lot of Sims that are available. Not that any of them are here, of course. Why would they be? But he's not getting a lot of attention from the ladies because one, he's not going to inherit a title. Two, he doesn't have a lot of money. Three, he's illegitimate. Like a lot of the, ladies that come from families with titles are, not really looking for him, unfortunately. So he is just having some bad luck there. And then we do have him coming to talk to Gabriel because he knows that he's not going to get a lot of money or inherit a title. And so he wants to have a discussion with Gabriel about getting involved in the family business, which right now is the mining and jewelry making and, gemstone cutting and everything. So he is going to come and talk to Gabriel about getting involved in that. And Gabriel is actually happy to hear that because, his other son is very young. He's not really ready to get involved in the business and stuff, but I think Gabriel is like, oh, this kid is going to work hard. He wants it. He obviously is craving some sort of responsibility and sustainability and livelihood. So he's going to work hard. And, I think Gabriel can appreciate that Arthur wants to get involved, and Arthur's just going to, watch him first and then, see one, do one. So he is going to then try it on his own under Gabriel's supervision. And I think that Gabriel really likes the initiative he's seeing from Arthur, even though Arthur is his illegitimate child and everything. Like, he is happy that, someone has the same drive that he does. So he is enjoying that about Arthur, and Arthur is getting involved in the business because he really wants to make sure that he's okay and set for life. So that's what he's doing there. Then it is pretty early in the morning, actually. There's only one more thing I want to do, and of course the game is going to make it hard for me because the game hates me. But so what we're going to do is actually, in just a moment, we're going to have Thomas head out, but let me do this first. We'll get to a respectable time in the morning. So let's just quickly go through that. Doing his jewelry making. He's actually doing a pretty good job. He gets to level 3 pretty quickly. So there's that. And then we're going to send Thomas out, actually. So Thomas is going to go out with Rebecca, who he met in the last part. He met Rebecca, in the gardens at the ball, and they, struck up a conversation and everything. So he is going to go meet with her. Of course, she's going to leave immediately. Of course. I'm eventually going to get her back here, but I'll tell you what's going on. So basically, he meets with Rebecca and they're chatting. They're getting to know each other a little bit better. It's not a date, but they are just kind of feeling each other out. And so he actually finds out from her that she is really into art. She's an artist. She loves to paint. She, feels very strongly about all of that. And so she loves it. And she really, is inspired by, canvases and people and everything. And so she really likes all that. And he is actually really loving her passion. So he thinks that she's really interesting, and because he's like, oh, well, all ladies, do paintings, but none of them really feel that strongly about it. They just do it because they like it. Even Cesaria actually likes painting. Oh, and then we're having our baby. So the first of the Dubois babies is born, and it's Heath the third. So he survives. I actually forgot to get them pregnant again. I should write that down. So they need to get pregnant again. But yes, so that's where we're going to wrap up with him and him and Rebecca getting to know each other a little bit better and getting to, be closer friends and everything, be good friends. So we'll see where things go with them. Obviously, we know that he's not going to get married, so don't get your hopes up. But honestly, she's gorgeous. She is gorgeous. I can't even handle it. So there is that. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed. And let's see. I shouldn't be wrapping up so soon because I need to still do makeovers for two Sims. But there's actually not a lot of birthdays here. We just have Basil Larkin, Olivia Larkin, and Princess Mary, the daughter of Henry VIII, who has become a teenager. And then, yeah, so there's really not a lot of birthdays. But what I am going to do, because I do have too many Sims in this save file, so I'm sorry, but Elder Sims are going to have to get the axe. So I'm going to kill a bunch of Elder Sims off camera, but sorry. And anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this part. I am really excited to start the next decade. Look forward to a vampire war. It's going to be awesome, and I'll catch you in the next one.